We have a Mediterranean salad on this week's podcast because we're joined by not just one Lebanese international, but two. Jacob Kiraz, the super coach gun, joins us and we talk all things Canterbury Bulldogs, Dan Gagai versus Matt Burton 2, what it's like playing with the Gus father and those Matt Burton bombs. Don't miss this episode, it's the best one yet. Let's go! Let's go. We are back for another episode of the B Team podcast, and it's a special ep because it's not every day you get to sit between not only one Cedar International, but two. Mr. Jacob Kiraz from the Canterbury Bulldogs has joined us. Jacob, thanks for jumping on, brother.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, mate, Jacob, appreciate you giving us the time. You said a fellow Cedar.
Couple Cedars in the house.
A Lebanese superstar, mate, up-and-comer for the Bulldogs. Really sprung onto the scene this year.
Great in Supercoach for anyone that plays.
Yeah.
Won me a few matchups.
How has it been, the debut season? How are you finding it?
I'm finding it good. Every game I'm learning like new skills. I'm just loving it at the moment.
Yeah?
Loving it, yeah.
And like being around the boys, like you got leaders there, like, you know, Josh Adokar, the Fox. Does it make your job easier being around some like experienced players like that?
Yeah, well,
Burton, who's won a comp as well.
Yeah, it's been massive. Foxy's been huge on me too, especially because I've played wing. I've been playing wing as well, so he's been teaching me heaps of like stuff. Obviously, he's played Origin Australia, so he's been massive. Burton as well because he won a premiership last year.
I don't want to put you on the spot straight off the bat, but
Go.
give us an honest take, Kiraz.
I don't know what you're going to say.
Do you think Josh Adokar should have been playing State of Origin?
Yeah, 100%.
100%?
100%. Yeah.
Especially because he started playing even better after he got axed in the first game.
Yeah, he just brings that spark that I think no player can. Like his speed, you can't teach that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Did he have a bit of a chip on his? Like, did he say
Something
something to the
to
boys
prove?
like
He
watch?
went about his business.
Yeah, no,
I thought
he
he handled it
usually.
bad.
No, he handled it good. He obviously he was like upset, which he would be. But he just got on with it, and he's been killing it. So yeah.
Another thing I want to bring up, Origin-wise, Matt Burton.
Yeah.
He's a big boy.
Big.
Deceptively big. We were talking about. He was taking on Dan Gagai. Dane looks like he could throw him. Matt, he got him a couple times.
Yeah.
Then Tino
Two on one though.
Tino did his best impression of a Sydney
Sleeper hold.
A little sleeper hold. Matt said anything about that? The boys giving him a
what's
stick,
been the reception
what's been
at
the
the dog?
Because
Because I know Tino's come out and said that, you know, I'm not worried if they try and, you know, get one up on me because you're playing the Titans this week, right? So what's the chat?
Massive.
What's the chat been around? You know, that Burton scrap.
When Burton came, like no one's really spoke about it. Well, like when I haven't really spoke to him about it, but see how his body's pulled up. That's it. But it's been pretty quiet around like that. No one's really said anything. We just know that we're versing him this week and it'll be good.
grudge match.
It'll be a good match.
Who from the Bulldogs? If you could pick one person that like Gagai,
to Tino.
yeah. Or I was just thinking Gagai doesn't want to fight this guy. Who would it be if you had to pick someone from the Dogs?
Easy, Tavita.
Tavito, yeah.
He can fight. He's a boxer.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can fight.
He's fiery too. Like he's got that aggression in him. Like,
Yeah.
you see
He
it come
does.
out of him on the field.
That's going to be good.
Yeah.
Tavita versus.
It'll be a good
That'll be
matchup,
good.
100%.
We've got a couple fan questions.
Jump in on it.
This one is from Andy G. It's a good one. You knew you were going to get a Gus question. What's the Godfather Gus Gould like at training? I think everyone's intrigued by him, eh? Like,
Gus is good. He doesn't come in like all the meetings like everyone like thinks he does. Like he comes in, he doesn't really.
he's not there hovering over the coach.
He doesn't hover over the coach. He doesn't say much. He'll come to some training sessions, watch us. But he's good. He's a good bloke, very good bloke. So yeah.
He's critical of the media because he's on the 100% footy. He's on Channel 9. Balances a job being a GM at footy at the Bulldogs. He's critical of the media, saying that they often do put out a lot of shit stories.
Yeah,
a lot
like
of
Seraldo.
Yeah, exactly.
Some of the coaching
Potentially,
stories.
stuff like that. But a more recent one that involved Kiraz was him and another teammate not getting on in the dressing room at one point or having a little scrap in the dressing room. I think Paul Kent was the one that reported it.
Of course.
Reliable journalism on NRL 360. Was there any truth to that you and, was it Corey Allen that had any...
Yeah, Cozza. Nothing happened. I remember literally a week later after we beat Parramatta. So this was a week after the game.
Big win.
Yeah, it was a massive win. And then out of nowhere, one of my mates rings me and says, "Bro, I didn't know you got in a what? You had a fight with Corey Allen. You had a scuffle." I was like, "What? What?" And then he's like, "Check 360." And I was just watching, and it was saying, how apparently after the game, I told apparently after
it's a rumor.
Yeah, and after the game the week before,
Yeah.
that I said to him, like I said, like, why are you laughing? We lost. Like, I lost at him. But I remember when we put it on the group chat, and we were just laughing. Like, we were saying, we have no clue where this came from. And he ended up posting it just because I'm like, it didn't look good on him. And obviously that's why I posted it too, because there was no truth to it.
Yeah, you guys came out, put a story up on
100%.
Insta saying this is all
There's
garbage.
nothing wrong with just a little bit of, getting up someone after a game. There's nothing wrong with that. But someone just started the Chinese whispers.
That's the thing. And especially me, I was 3 games in, and then, and because they were trying to say, Kiraz, he sparked something because he did this, and I was just there like, I did nothing. I did nothing. I was 3 games in, and I wasn't gonna go yell at one of my players.
You're there just putting your head down.
I'm there just playing.
At the end of the day, Paul can't pull your socks up, mate. You can't be pulling stories out of your ass like that. Kiraz is a good bloke. Teammates are getting along. We've got another fan question here from Eli. Kiraz, who is one Lebanese player you'd love to see play in a Cedar jersey in the World Cup this year? Apart from me, obviously.
Oh yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
I'm actually looking forward with Dewey.
To see Dewey play this year, yeah. Well, he's
Mitch
doing
Moses Lebanese?
Mitch
Moses
I think he'll put his hand up and he'll be
That's
playing.
a halves pairing right there.
Mate, the Cedar team this year, I reckon it's probably the best that they've had in a World Cup ever.
Yeah.
When you think about
100%.
it. You got players like Josh Mansour, Abbas Miski playing. You got yourself would be in the team, Mitch Moses, Adam Dewey. I don't think it's ever been this strong. It's probably from a backline standpoint.
Yeah.
I mean, Twal missing out is probably going to be huge, which is unfortunate with the concussion issues. But you guys are looking good. And if you look at the lineup that they're up against, Jamaica, you guys should jump over them.
Yeah.
And it's Wales and New Zealand. So you guys will progress through. It's just,
Yeah, no, we should.
Big game against New Zealand.
Yeah.
Huge game.
So I think we're versing them first as well, which will be good. So it'll be a good.
That'll be a good test.
Yeah,
see where you
100%.
guys are at.
That's
Wales got anyone? I think
think-
Jamaica have Dom Young, I think.
Yeah, Dom. He's
quick
Dom.
as well.
Is he Jamaican?
He's Jamaican,
he's
yeah.
Jamaican
half
English.
Jamaican.
Yeah,
half Jamaican.
half English.
I actually know Dom because I was with him in
At
Newcastle. Yeah, he's
yeah.
a champion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a good player.
Yeah, he's
Mate, last tackle option, threat, and he's quick.
Man, he's quick.
I honestly think I reckon him and Foxy would be the quickest in NRL. Easy.
Really?
You've
yeah,
said-
I can back. I reckon he hasn't
Actually,
even hit.
okay, so let's put this to
Go.
you. Josh Adokar, Jason Saab, or Dominic Young, who's winning over 100 metres?
Say 100.
Would you?
Okay, no, okay.
40 is
okay,
Fox.
yeah. Length of
40
the field.
Fox easy.
Easy?
Over 40, it's
I reckon.
Fox?
Yeah, I reckon Fox easy 40. I reckon he'll beat
Yeah,
him
I
without a
think so.
doubt. Just his acceleration is crazy. But maybe 100. I reckon you got the long strides. I reckon Dom. I reckon honestly Dom.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, shit.
Yeah, but
Saab's
not-
got that nice clean running tech.
Yeah,
It's
he's
like,
a
he looks
runner.
very effortless. But
He looks like he's been with Roger Fabry.
Yeah, I think
out
he
at
is.
Centennial Park.
I
Yeah,
think
there
he
you
is.
go.
I think he is.
Professional.
Sabi, Lebanese? Didn't we break
I
that?
think we did break that. He Jason Saab could potentially be
Yeah.
playing
Yeah,
for
could.
Lebanon at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I think he's going to put his hand
They
up.
need to do that though. Super race.
Yeah, I'd love to
How do
see
you
it.
go?
What with what?
How are
Like
you
a
over
super
40?
race. How are you over 40? No good.
No, I don't know. I reckon.
You
I reckon I'm
back
quick.
yourself on
I'll
that?
back
Yeah,
myself.
come on,
okay.
mate.
Over 40.
I don't know.
Well, mate, just going into another fan question. You played Souths over the weekend. Tough game. Could have gone either way at one point. It was in the
Was
balance.
right in it.
22 all.
Yeah.
Boys
And
are playing good attacking footy at the Dogs.
Latrell just.
Latrell was running rampant.
Yeah.
How is it going up against this Latrell right now? He's really come fresh off his injury.
Gone to America. He's got on
Yeah.
the NFL player diet. He looks big. He looks motivated.
He's in the zone to go have a run for the finals. How was Latrell on the weekend?
Yeah, he's just one of those players. It's just, he's just going to run amok on you. And obviously we knew that before we came in the game. We knew he was a threat. So we knew if we stop him, we could massive chance to win. But yeah, he just, like he said, he just came back. He looks fitter, looks stronger. And yeah, he did pretty good. He did
Like I
really
said,
good on the
yeah.
weekend against
to
us.
bump
so,
off
yeah.
Burton twice. Like
Twice.
Burnon's no
Yeah.
slouch. He's a good defensive player,
Mm.
good defensive centre at Penrith and in Origin. Like to do that to him is
and then
tough.
as well, and Fox was injured at that stage.
Yeah,
when
Fox
he
was
said,
injured.
when he sent him to
Oh,
the care
man.
team.
Yeah, yeah.
Fox.
No,
Don't argue.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
off me, you stink.
Nah,
that was rough.
Fox's glit was gone, so yeah.
Yeah, he can say that.
Yeah.
That's a good. I'd say
They're
that.
mates, aren't they, as well?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
mate,
they're
yeah,
mate,
Of course,
yeah.
Latrell one upped him there. But big game for you boys this week against the Titans.
Yeah.
Another play that we were G to see get over the line was Declan Casey.
Mate,
That's it,
because
100%.
on the podcast last week we said Casey, unfortunately, probably one of the worst debuts of all time. When you
One of
only-
the unlucky.
Yeah,
One
it
of
was
the most
unlucky, yeah,
unlucky.
yeah,
You
yeah.
gotta think, it was pouring rain.
Monsoon rain. Dropped the ball a couple of times.
Dropped it 3 or 4 times. Got absolutely KO'd by Fafita. Comes out this week. Has an absolutely top game against South. Defensively, he was belting blokes,
Yep.
taking people into touch. Scores, gets over the line. I don't know. It looks like he's going to be a fixture.
He looks like the white Brian Toto.
Yeah.
A little bit of the
the rat tail.
Samoan rat tail guy.
I think he's
Trying
going
to tell him
be.
to cut it.
Yeah, no good.
He looks like he's going to be a fixture. Gus Gould gave him a little shout out on Twitter as well for his performance. Like, that's a redemption story.
Yeah, he must
you have
have
a
been
shocker of a debut, but come back. How was he after that game?
Yeah, obviously we lost, but no, you could see he was happy, and I was so happy for him. Like, especially on his debut, like it was just unlucky. Obviously, you got the rain. That was crazy. That was like the worst rain I've played in. Like lots of play. And then it was his debut too, so the nerves and the rain, it was just adding up. And then when I saw him yesterday, he just killed it, and I was so happy. All the boys were so happy, and it's good that he got that chance, especially a week after, which was because Shoppy got COVID.
Yeah.
So it was good, and all of the boys were all happy for him. So,
It was meant to be for him.
Yeah.
Shop gets COVID. He has another crack. Good on him, mate. I'm really happy for him.
You guys got some good young players, yourself included, and you got a couple big players coming next season as well. You've got Mick Potter in there doing some good stuff. At the beginning of the year, you guys couldn't score many points. Now you're putting on points for fun. What effect has Mick Potter had? Because obviously he's done something, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he's just. I think we've just played more free. And I think that the combos between Flano and Burton as well, they've been playing now, like, how much rounds together? They've been playing a couple of rounds. So I think that's what the combos are getting right. Shoppy and Foxy have been there now for ages. So, yeah, but Potsy's good. He's just real honest with us. Focuses on the negatives first. So, like, say we win, he would always say...
Pick
out what we did wrong. Then he'd say, okay, you did good. Like, when we beat Para, he still said to us, like, we could have won by more. But yeah, like we look back at it, and that's good as a coach. You don't want to be complacent at any time. And even on the weekend, we honestly thought we had a chance there. But obviously,
you're right in it. What about positional changes he's made that have been a big difference? Like Avarillo going to fullback. He's kind of like found a home there. He's found a way over the try line most games now. Has he come in intentionally and just laid his hands on it of what positions he thinks players are performing better at, or where we perform best?
Well, yeah, that was a main change that when Potsy put Avarillo to fullback, because that's Avo's best position. He loves fullback. I think he loves 5'8". He knew he wasn't a centre. He's not. He said that. So yeah, I think just seeing him play the position that he played like most of his juniors at, and just he's one of those blokes that needs a space around the ball. He needs around the field. So he's been killing it. So yeah, that's massive for him.
Yeah, good on Avarillo.
Yeah, dogs of war, looking good.
We're looking all right.
Without giving away too much. You heard any rumours? Gus leaked anything to the boys? Who's the coach is going to be next year? No idea.
No
one coming for a job interview?
No.
Seen anyone in the car park while you're waiting for your rat test results?
I know. No, we're all lost. We have no clue. So.
Let's go with that at the moment with COVID. Like, there's some... What was it? One of the reporters... Lockyer.
No, yeah. So you got Darren Lockyer coming out and probably urging players that you might have to go back into a bubble going into NRL finals. What's the view of the players? You've been in first grade now. Do players, do they care if they go into another bubble? Is it their preference to not go into a bubble? What do you reckon to go with?
Well, I think majority of us, I reckon nearly all of us. Yeah, I think like this is only my first year, so I haven't really been in a bubble as bad. But like all the boys have been in bubble for the last 2 years, and yeah, I remember even when I think at the start of the year they were close to going in a bubble when the new strains, I don't know, and then I remember all the players just said nah, like they don't want it, and I don't blame them. 2 years have been in a bubble, and I just think just need to get on. If you're sick, stay home. Like
but
it is what it
like
is.
You want life outside of footy.
100%. You don't want to be. It's just I feel like it won't be good for lots of players.
And what's the process now with the clubs? Is it test daily when you go into training?
Yeah, every training session. We have to we pull up and then we get tested in the car and we have to wait.
Every training
session, every game day. Yeah.
What's the rat test budget on that?
Yeah, they must be forking out thousands. They're not cheap.
They're not cheap. So you test before you go into training, make sure you're all good and everyone can go. Because you've had a few players that have gone down with COVID over the last couple of weeks. Shop most recently. Yeah. But it would be
weird as well. You're rocking up to a game and then someone gets hooked.
Yeah.
Like in the car park.
Crazy.
It's been a crazy, but you were in Townsville as well last.
Yeah,
so you
2020,
and then to Newcastle. Yeah, talk us through you because
you've had a weird journey.
Yeah. So I was a Dogs junior.
Yep.
Grew up at St John's Eagle.
Yeah, St
John's, great part of the world.
Yeah.
My girlfriends grew up in that part. They breed them different out there.
So St John's Eagles junior. So I didn't play Harold Mats. I didn't get picked for Harold Mats for Bulldogs. I trialled Bulldogs, didn't get picked. Then SG Ball, I trialled Doggies, didn't get picked for Dogs, and then I got picked for Roosters and Dragons, and I picked Dragons.
We used to go to an open trial, like how North
Yeah, it was
Sydney
open
might
trial.
do an open trial.
Yeah,
Roosters do that because they don't really. Roosters, those clubs, they don't really have a big junior base to pick
Definitely
from.
not the Roosters.
You either got Nick Politis going
Poaching
out,
from
poaching
South.
from players, or you got some open
for sure.
trials
There's
where
only
you
like
find
2 or
the
3
Jacob
teams
Kiraz.
left in the Roosters comp. That's why they always
Yeah.
merge with other comps.
Yeah.
So you played SG.
So
Where'd you play SG?
I played SG Dragons, and I was a 5'8" my whole career, so
Okay.
5'8" all the way to SG, and then
Big 5'8". Look at
yeah,
Yeah.
I played 5'8" in fullback, but then when I went to SG, they transitioned me to a centre 5'8", so I was playing centre as well. And then
Yep.
when the 5'8" went down, I'd play 5'8", and I had a really good season at SG Ball, and because our team wasn't doing the best as well, we didn't make the 8 or anything, but because I was like
Playing
I was playing really good footy. So then a couple of clubs came and offered me a contract, and then I remember I think Cowboys are the only one that offered me full time NRL, not the
Not
first
a training
year.
trial or anything like
Yeah,
that.
like the first year was reserve grade, and I was only 17 at the time as well for SG Ball. So first year was reserve grade, and the second year they offered me full time. I think
Okay.
Dev or something. They were the only ones that offered me that. So then so I just said I think as well. I was 17, 18. I think it was probably best for me to just leave Sydney, just go somewhere,
Fresh
just
start,
be
Townsville.
fresh start, be like just focus on footy because I know
Yeah.
that's it. Like focus on.
How
footy.
was it up in Townsville?
Yeah, it's not my style. Like,
Yeah.
Everything move a bit slower up
Not
there,
many-
really hot.
Well,
Not
it's
many
real
lebos up
humid.
in Townsville.
Oh,
No,
there
no,
wouldn't be.
no,
You'd
no.
stick out like dog's balls up
Oh,
in Townsville. Kiraz.
getting the eyes and everything. Yeah, it was really slow, obviously compared to Sydney, but no, like I was there obviously just to play footy. So I did a pre-season with the reserve grade team. Aaron Payne was actually the coach, and yeah, I was in. I had 2 trial games with reserve grade. I was doing pretty good as well, and then played 1 game of 20s, and then I think we won like 70-0.
Yeah, against a Q Cup team or something like that.
Yeah, the 20s Ipswich Jets.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so we won that, and yeah, I was in that team. I had Hammer, I had Griff Nemi, all them boys there with me. So and Thomas Chester, he just debuted, and then after that COVID happened. So I remember.
So going into the season,
Yeah, so the round 1 happened, and then
Yeah.
this is when COVID first started.
Oh, I remember that.
2020.
Yeah.
So then that's it. Season cancelled. NRL reserve grade cancelled until April, and everything was delayed. And then, especially coming from Lebanese family, like my parents were worried the borders were going to
course.
shut. We couldn't come see. I couldn't come see him whenever I wanted to. So I said I'll go back home, and then when footy's back on, I'll come back. And then I remember they just ended up canning reserve grade for the year, and because I wasn't in that NRL bubble because I was a reserve grade, I wasn't even training or anything. So that's why I went back home too. And they wanted to push me to the bubble, but they couldn't because there's really strict rules of just 36 players, 30 players.
wow.
Yeah. So then I came back home, and then.
Do you see that now as kind of like a blessing in disguise of how your
Yeah.
careers ended up?
Yeah, how different could it
like
have been, eh?
if COVID didn't come, would you still be at the Cowboys? Would you have made your debut there?
That's a
Like you don't
thing,
really
yeah.
know. Like did you look back on it and go, I'm really thankful with how things turned
I
out?
think everything happens for a reason.
For sure.
I think it's.
You got to come back
obviously-
home.
I think everything happens for a reason. Like you said, obviously COVID it's sad. Obviously, how many people passed away, how many people lost their families and stuff. But like it worked out good in my way with that. I came back home and I remember I came back home and then I was still signed with him for 2 more years. But then the recruitment manager from Cowboys left tonight, and then he told me, I want you in Newcastle. I want to bring you here. You're closer to home. I want you to bring you here. And then it took ages for me to get a release because they wanted me. Like
Of course.
and not gonna lie, Cowboys are so good. I learned so much up there in that like 4-month period. I learned
Under Paul Green, so Paul Green was head coach there.
yeah, but it was more Payne, Aaron Payne.
Okay.
Yeah, because he was really good with me. And then I came back, and then I remember that year, the 2020, the whole year off, and then I had to get ready for preseason with Newcastle.
Yeah.
I was,
How
What was that like?
was-
You played
how was
no footy
Newcastle?
at all? Like,
it was. I think it was just. I was obviously going with touch footy, playing with my mates.
Yeah,
I remember
yeah.
it was bad because I did my rotator cuff. I was playing touch. I dived, and luckily this was like 5 months away from preseason.
You're kidding.
I dived, and then and then I did it, and then I got a cortisone shot. And then I remember that 4 weeks later, because I remember I couldn't do this, and they said, "Oh, lift your hand up." I lifted it good, and they said, you have to get another one, and if you need another one, you have to have surgery. You might miss whole preseason and be back for January or
For
something.
an innocent game
So-
of touch footy with the
yeah,
boys.
mate,
You got to be
they get
careful.
surprisingly physical.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so I was worried about that. I was like, "Are you serious? Like my first preseason NRL, like surely not. And then it ended up, thank God, the second quarter zone was good.
Worked a treat.
Yeah, so I went there, and then first preseason was kind of tough on me, especially because I didn't expect.
Is that Newcastle?
Yeah, I didn't expect because I came from reserve grade, didn't play the whole year footy, and not gonna lie, I wasn't really running as much. I was just playing touch. I was doing a couple like 1.2s here and then, but yeah, and then I just struggled a bit with preseason. But then that year played then round 12, COVID happened again. Reserve grade cancelled the whole year.
You just got 2 years without playing any footy.
That's it. And then I remember the Queensland, they all went to Queensland, but I didn't. They made me stay. Me and a couple of young blokes, they just told us stay in Nui, and that was probably the hardest bit of everything because me and all the players, we had to stay in Newcastle, and the thing was we were Sydney was all in a bubble. Sydney was in lockdown. Newcastle wasn't, so it was all right. I
could roam around.
I was actually happy because I wanted to go home, but then my mum was like, "Listen, like." Because I was going to tell him,
Ever cross your mind just maybe sneaking over the border?
I remember my mum I was saying, I'm going to tell him I'm going home. Because I remember if I actually wanted to go home, they couldn't say no because on my ID it said I lived in Sydney.
It's your residence.
So that's where I live. So I knew that wouldn't be a problem. But mum was like, we're in lockdown. Like, you can do what you want. There are cafes, every nightclub's open.
You're probably better off staying.
And I was with like 4 of my close mates who I'm pretty close with now from there. And we were training hard every day. But we're doing training by ourselves. And I remember the last session we did with Cup, because all the boys in, and our last session we did, and then that's it. That's when Newcastle.
That's when they shut it down.
I did my PCL,
my
left PCL. So I remember I was seeing one physio maybe once a week, but it was like you couldn't really go anywhere, but I had to go, and I was technically doing rehab by myself on my right PCL.
What's a PCL injury? 4, 6 weeks?
No, this one was 8 to 10 weeks.
Yeah,
so it worked out good because it wasn't during the season. I wasn't playing no footy. I could just focus on that.
Rehabbing it.
But it was bad because I was in Newcastle. I was just focusing on all that. I was like, I need to get this ready. And then I went back to preseason end of the year. I came back. I was one of the fittest.
100% at 100%.
100%. I put weight on. I was like 90. I was like, now I'm 96. So I put weight on as well. So I was at my best. And then, I just had a feeling. It was just that, like, in training sessions, they put players before you. You just know you have that feeling. I had these feelings, like, if I stayed there this year, because I was top 30 this year for them there, I knew that if I stayed there, it doesn't matter what my status was, top 30, I knew I wasn't going to debut. I knew I was not going to get an opportunity to play. And, I didn't. I played wing for the first time there. There was centre. When the top 30 players will drop down, that's when I went to wing. But then even other times, I remember like they had local boys playing centre, and centre was my best position, and they wouldn't move me to centre.
So you kind of got a vibe that, maybe I've got to start looking elsewhere or just see what other opportunities are there. Bulldog sticks out. Like you said, you're a Canterbury junior. Was that always one of the options for you that you want to go play for the Dogs?
Yeah, like... Obviously, what happened in the past, I think that's all done with, obviously, I think the problems they had outside of, or internally, whatever.
Yeah.
But, like, as soon as I knew that Dog said, we'll give him a go, because I knew it would be hard, because I haven't played footy in ages, so I knew it would be hard. I couldn't get a top 30 gig, and the Dogs were full as well at the time as well with their top 30. So I just said, I just want to train trial. I just want to train with NRL. That's all I want, and I just want to show them
what I got. Gamble on yourself.
Yeah, it was massive. I had lots of... It was massive. Like,
who'd you have a chat with? Was it Gus or...
Nah, because Gus didn't really know me. He just knew I was a local junior. So he was, and that's when he first started bringing. So he obviously announced that they signed me, and then it was massive because I was Lebanese and because of fan
local
junior. So and then so it was a massive gamble I took, but now thank God it all worked out good.
Yeah. And then you made your debut against the Broncos.
Yeah, that's when
having not
in
played
Brisbane.
footy for 2 years, basically, like a game of footy. That's crazy. You're cramping up.
Oh yeah, because I played reserve grade. Round 1 to when I debuted. But they said because I couldn't play to round 11 because that's a rule. If you're not in top 30, you can't play to round 11. So I was doing really good. I was finding my best foot. I knew this is the footy that I know I can play. So I knew round 11. That's it. Like I'll just go hard. I know that's my goal. Round 11. Once I can debut, I'll debut. And then, round 7, what happens, we're coming late, reserve getting into training, and then NRL early. I get a call at 6:37 saying, listen, from my cup coach, can you get in? We need you. Averillo, Naden, they all have COVID, and you might be a chance. And I was just like, wow. So I go then, I'm there going in the back 5 meeting, and then Foxy's there like, is that us, bro? Is that us, bro? I'm like, bro, I have no clue. No one's told me nothing. So they all G me up. I'm like, like I don't know what's happening, and I haven't got told nothing. I don't know if the boys know. I said, I don't know if I'm debuting. I have no clue. And then, yeah, Baz ended up telling me that I was debuting. He said, yeah, like you've been playing good footy, and I have no doubt that you'll do good. So yeah, 2 days before we went to Brisbane too. So yeah, it was
short notice.
Yeah, short.
Well, I'll
what
tell
a
you
place
what,
to debut at as well.
Suncorp. Yeah, they
best
were loud.
stadium.
They would have been real loud.
Yeah. Did you get the family up there as well?
Yeah, my family,
That's
cousins, mates.
That's good. That's good that they could all come up.
Yeah, I told
that's
him 2
heaps
days. I told him, I remember that morning, no one knew that I was debuting too, and everyone was telling me, ring your family. I said, I'll wait till I go home. They're like, it's going to get leaked. Ring your family, mum, dad, let them find out from
that's
you.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I rang them there, and they told mum was getting a bit emotional, and dad was just shocked.
mad.
Yeah, and then told the boys, and they were all saying, no way. And they're like, all right, we're booking the tickets. That's it. So literally 1 day before book tickets, they all went.
Unreal.
That's
Yeah.
mad.
Yeah, and now you're settled in. You know, you've been playing consistent first grade footy. A big thing that's been taking the NRL this year is Matt Burton's bombs. They're out of this world. He kicks them out of the suburbs, higher than the
Out
stadium.
of the stadiums.
Now,
Into the solar system.
Oh,
even he's given
Crazy.
players like Kalen Ponga a hard time in Origin, right? So, does he practice these at training? You're a winger centre.
Yeah.
Have you been put to the test at training under these Burton bombs?
yeah, heaps. Because I'd like to say I'm pretty good under the high ball as well. So I remember even when I first came, I remember, better put me up bombs. Then everyone was just Gino up that he can put up bombs. And I didn't know, because obviously he hasn't played 5'8" last year, so he wasn't putting them as much. So no one. And then even now at training we always have competitions, and then you put him up. if he hits them, I'm telling you now, and I've said it in the last week in the media, it's impossible. You cannot catch it, because it's not even if it lands in you, you'll catch it, but it's because it just goes down.
And it's got that wonky.
It goes down, then goes short, cut.
Yeah.
Like you can't. And
It gets
you look at
taken.
it. Yeah, you look at it. It's coming here. It's coming up, and out of nowhere the ball's there. Like KP or Queensland, like he probably falls.
They
there.
just let it
Yeah,
bounce.
yeah,
They have
exactly
no
You
idea.
right.
can't catch it. It's actually impossible if he kicks
It
it
just
right.
must be the way he kicks the ball, because you'd think other players would try and replicate it. They do a torpedo kick,
I
but
don't
it
remember
just
anyone that's been able to bomb at that. I remember Anasta had a good bomb, but no
yeah,
one.
I remember the
like,
Pat Richards
Pat
kickoffs.
Richards,
Yeah, the
that gave
kickoffs,
people
yeah.
a hard time, but this is you know, it's the
literally
best
going outside
last
the
tackle
stage.
option, because you could be on your 40
Yeah.
or inside your own half, and he'll be putting them up just to try and get a result. Like, it's a great last tackle option.
100% save us. It gets us out of trouble. If we're in trouble,
Yeah.
we'll just give it a bird. Let him bomb
Yeah,
it.
that's it. Just let him do the.
Yeah.
Now, another thing that's been taking the NRL by storm this month, it's Try July.
Yes.
You love a meat pie.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. What would be your
Big
go-to?
game against the Titans this week. I'm feeling really, really good about you getting over the strike.
Yeah.
So what's your celebration? The boys were looking like Paul Vaughan was even doing a celebration.
kiss.
What's your go-to? Let's work on it, because I think you're scoring this week.
I don't know. I was thinking maybe a LeBron James one, like
Oh, the silence up.
like something like that. I was thinking that, or a Ray Lewis one. I don't know if you know Ray, where
Yeah.
slide
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, something like
Hit
pretty mean.
an American sport-inspired
I like the Ray Lewis.
try
the Ray Lewis
celebration.
one.
I feel like LeBron, heaps of people do a LeBron.
I think we've seen a LeBron in a try July. Yeah, give us a Ray Lewis if you get
Yeah.
over this week.
when you
That's
go over.
Yeah, when you go over, give us a Ray
That's
Lewis,
it.
because that Combank Stadium this week should be a crack of a game.
Big game.
Yeah, I think
Against
it'll be a
the
big
Gold
turn up
Coast.
too.
Big game for the boys. I want your opinion on both of your opinions on this, boys.
Yeah.
Been a lot of talk about Origin eligibility and all that type of stuff. Victor Radley has said he's going to play for England, so that means he can't represent New South Wales anymore. And Jerome Luai was cop and stick by, once again, the lemon himself, Paul Kent,
Yeah.
for representing Samoa. You boys both proud Lebanese heritage.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on all of this? Because I personally think it's a little bit of a shit take and a shit go for someone to have a swipe at someone for wanting to represent their heritage. Like, you would know, how much pride is it for
100%.
you representing your heritage, Lebanon? Like, I'm assuming you had grandparents or parents that came over here.
100%. No, I just think I just think
I
It's
mean,
a
like,
tough
at
one,
the end
bro.
of the
It's a
day,
tough- yeah.
like,
I don't know, it's
I
weird.
think your preference would be wanting to represent your country for your
100%,
parents, or like
100%.
Sure, like-
the way Phil
100%.
Gould puts it is that, whatever, if you hear an anthem being played and whatever anthem brings a tear to your eye, you want to play for them.
100%.
Yeah.
So, like, Mitch, if you're eligible, I mean, being playing for Lebanon, they're a tier 2 nation.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
you'd be able to play for him. Luai Samoa being a tier 2, he can put his hand up
Yeah.
and play for him.
He
No
can play.
question asked. The issue is what if these nations become a tier
Tier
1
one,
nation?
100%.
Will they still be able to play Origin? Do you think players should be able to pick an international team and also be able to play Origin?
Yeah, I think they can. I think Origin and international is completely different.
100%.
I reckon, you play for your state, and then when it comes to international, you want to play for your country that you
course,
represent
yeah.
your family from. And yeah, I think it's two different
Especially
mate,
like
100%.
you, for example, like Jerome Luai. Jerome's from Penrith. He's
Yeah.
from New South Wales. But
Yeah.
his heritage is Samoan.
100%.
So what's the problem? I can understand if, let's say, for example, Sam Burgess wanted to play Origin. That's a little bit different because
Yeah.
he's from there. But then I think it's slack to have players criticised. Like, what's the problem with Jerome
Yeah,
Luai
that's-
wanting to? He doesn't want to represent the Kangaroos. His
100%.
family's from Samoa. Like, you boys understand my grandparents are from Italy. Like,
Yeah.
the pride that your family has when you do anything. It doesn't
Yeah.
even have to just be playing
100%.
footy.
And you just get a better product at the end of the day. It'll be a better World Cup with more players playing in it. Like, you know, not everyone's allegiance
Sure.
will have to be to Australia or New Zealand. Or I
Yeah.
think it'll just make for a better. But speaking of the World Cup, there's been some selection dramas. The media's drumming up. Like, who, after Origin, who's going to get the Australian number 7 jersey? Is it going to be Nathan Cleary or is it going to be Daly Cherry Evans? Now, there's still 10 weeks to be played in the comp. So who knows who's going to be fit or whatever. But, like, as of right now, who do you pick as your Australian 7? If Origin was a trial for
then
the
you'd
Australian
have to give it
jumper,
to
you'd have
Cherry.
to give it to
100%.
DCE.
Yeah, if it was 100%.
You know what I mean? I mean, you could maybe play DCE at 6, but then you're going to have to maybe forego a Munster or something like that.
Munster needs to be
Munster's
there.
a lock.
Munster's
Munster's
a
a lock
lock.
as a 6. So who do you give that 7 jumper to? I think just based on Penrith probably most likely going back-to-back this year.
Yeah.
You
On
know,
club form, it probably should
On
be
club
Cleary.
form, yeah, I think Cleary will end up getting a gig, but it's very hard not to
Yeah.
leave Daly Cherry Evans out
Especially
of the
after
side
that
this
game
year.
3.
And what he's doing at Manly, that game 3, his kicking game's unreal. Like, and he's just that experienced player. Like, how is it going up against a DC? You know, leading Manly around. Have you played Manly
I
yet?
haven't played Manly yet. I think
Okay,
we
yeah.
play him back end of the year, so it'll be
So that
good.
should be interesting because they're vying for a spot in the 8. Daly
Yeah.
Cherry Evans with no Trebojevic has been putting the team on his back, but that should be an interesting.
You know who I
one
was
for
happy
selectors.
for on Origin? Ben Hunt.
Yeah.
Oh,
As much as it hurt me when he ran away, like that's the ultimate redemption story. 2015 when
I
he had
know.
the
No,
drop.
I think first redemption story goes Declan Casey, then it goes.
Yeah, we've had two.
100%.
Yeah,
We've had two.
That's it.
But poor guy.
Ben
like,
Hunt.
can you imagine the head noise on Ben Hunt? Like his whole career, he's just remembered for. He'd have nightmares about that
I
all the
know.
time. And as well, we've said heaps of times, man, he's playing. He'd be a top
Great
5
footy.
halfback.
Yeah.
No, he's playing great.
Now he
footy.
can hopefully they can put that to bed and
100%.
he's playing good because he's carrying the Dragons.
Yeah, no, happy he got his Origin moment, but I reckon we go into our starters.
Okay, so
Let's have a look at what we got lined up
all
for
right.
starters.
So Jacob, what we do like a top 5. We're going to do a top 3 this time,
Yeah.
and we do it on all range of topics: wrestling, best forwards, best halfbacks. What we wanted to do, special one for you. We're just going to tee these up, and you're going to tell top 3 toughest opponents you've ever played against.
Could be a centre on centre.
Could just be a forward that picked you out.
It could
in
have been
line.
Latrell on the weekend. Who's the top
So
3?
let's kick it off. Who is number 3?
Number 3, say Sivo when I versed him in Para.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sevo.
Yeah, he's a brick, man. He runs you can get caught.
Can't
You
tackle
get
him.
hurt.
You can't. You
He's
get
a
but
wreck.
you,
Is he made
yeah.
out of cement? Like he
Yeah,
just
he
looks.
is. Like, he actually is.
Remember what he did to Teddy a couple of years ago?
Yeah,
And Teddy's
knocked him out
no
clean.
slouching
I know.
defense, and he knocked him slooping.
Knocked him out, not defensively. As an attacking player, he just threw him to the
Yeah.
ground. That
Oh.
was rough. He's
Does
a
he
brick
line up
shit
on
house.
your side when you play him?
Yeah, when I played him, yeah, he was. He was
Do
a
you,
winger.
you just look at that, like, honestly, and just go, "Oh."
Yeah, what's the week
It's gonna
lead
be
up
like
in video?
Do you
You're like,
prepare a little bit different? Like,
Well,
I don't know,
'cause I
run
was
against a
playing-
brick wall or something?
Yeah, because when I was playing centre, they were saying that team Para jams heaps. So they're saying Sivo likes a jam, and I'm centre. So yeah,
straight for
You're
you.
just getting the ribs.
yeah. I think he did. He jammed me one time, but I passed it, and the pass went out. But I was like, okay, yep, he's coming off. So, just get ready.
They've
Yeah.
done their video. But in games like that, like you're going up against a big opponent, do you get nervous, you know, in the dressing sheds? What's your kind of pre-game routine before you're playing a big game? Or any first grade game, that's a big
Yeah,
game.
I'm just real quiet. I'm pretty to myself before the game.
Superstitious at all? Like,
Nah, I'm just like, yeah, I'm just by
Just
myself.
quiet,
Yeah,
just
fair enough.
get in the
Cruising.
zone.
enough.
Just get in the zone, try and get in the zone. I've been a bit better with like talking now and all that.
Okay.
But yeah, I think obviously
headphones in type of guy?
No, I don't put my. I used to put my headphones in. Now I don't put. I haven't put my headphones in for a couple. I just want to absorb.
Thinking
everything.
about
into
your
his
job.
sense.
Yeah, I don't want
yeah.
to like, listen to music. I used to put my headphones
Okay.
in heap, but no, I just take them out.
Okay, who would be number 2 on your list?
Second toughest opponent you've ever played against?
Talakai.
See a cipher.
Yeah, even
Cipher.
though it was in the wet, it was probably good for me that it was
Yeah.
a wet day. Even though it was bad for me with you can't do nothing that, especially with the rain. But with him, I reckon
Tackles hard and runs hard.
Yeah, and because he's pretty short. He's
He
not
is.
tall, but because he's just stocky.
Very stocky.
Oh, he'll run at you, and especially he was off the scrums. He was running right to Flana, and I was there. And Flana was there saying, "All right, come in, his ass." And I'm like, yeah,
Sure.
You got to be the bodyguard to your 7.
Yeah, I know. That's
Yeah,
it. Flana would look at me. He's like, but this is us because we know he's not going to pass. especially
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
rain. So then, I'm going to help. Oh, his elbows, and because he's short too.
Yeah.
And you can't. You
A lot of
can't go
post-contact
legs.
meters.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
You
You have to
can't.
hit the floor.
You can't go legs because
And
you
he's
just
another
get-
one that, probably didn't have the best showing in game 3
Yeah,
in
I
the
know.
time that he got. But, mate, he is a top
He'll
player.
be better for it.
He'll
as
be
well.
better for it as well, like how Casey was.
Yeah.
I'd
and
like
they need
to
to
see him
find
have
the
another
right
crack.
position for him.
I
as
think
well.
I don't think he's a middle. I think that was the wrong decision when he played middle.
And sitting there for 60 minutes. Imagine you're just sitting there nervous, and then he's got to go on. He's probably trying a bit too hard. I felt bad for him.
Yeah.
But he'll be back.
He'll be back for sure. I mean, yeah, but definitely a tough opponent to come up
Who
against.
is, Jacob, the toughest opponent you've ever faced?
Oh wow, you're diverse.
Could be even like when you come up in the 20s. Could be.
Yeah, it could
like,
even be like a teammate maybe that
Yeah.
you just hate having a tackle at training. Just the toughest opponent. We've had Sivo, we've had Talakai.
Latrell would probably be up there.
Latrell, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually,
Latrell.
I reckon Latrell.
Yeah.
Latrell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The way, especially
Just
on the
impossible
weekend.
to tackle. Do you,
Yeah, he's just and it just seems like he's not even going hard as well. He'll just be running around just bumping people off.
Yeah. No,
got that
that's what some
effortless-
people say. It's effortless to him. Like he'll switch off
Yeah.
for a lot of the game, and then when he wants to turn it on, he turns it on. Is that how it
100%,
feels when he's out there?
100%, Yeah. But no, I reckon, he would be. Especially, obviously, on the weekend.
and he's got that GI build as well.
Mm.
Big up top,
Yeah.
popsicle stick legs.
Who would you take?
And-
Who would you take? GI in his prime or current Latrell? Who would you take in your team?
You'd say GI, but Latrell is coming into his prime now.
That's what I mean. The only factor that why you wouldn't take Latrell is because maybe he's a bit too young still. What is
Yeah.
he,
I
24,
I feel like he's
25?
I feel
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he's
Around
just
that.
starting now to come into his best footy.
100%.
Like even when he was at the Roosters and he was taking the piss, that's not even his peak.
And it's
Which
funny that-
GI kind of had that. He had 2 primes, like when he was at the Storm,
Yeah.
and then when he went to fullback.
Him and GI have followed a similar path.
Yeah.
They've gone,
But
they were
Latrell-
Storm and then they've
I
gone
think
over to
Latrell's a bit of a
South.
silkier ball player.
Yeah,
I think
he
he
looks
is.
more
I think
clean.
I think
Yeah.
he's got a nice clean pair of hands, so maybe he's got
100%.
better hands. But GI was GI. Like GI is
Yeah.
an immortal.
And now, thank you. Appreciate the top 3.
Huge
So,
top three.
recap, he had...
Number 3, he had Micah Siva.
Yeah.
You don't want to be running that.
No,
guy
you
or
know,
tackling him.
2 was
Talakai.
Sifa Talakai, and number 1, Latrell Mitchell. That's a fair list. I wouldn't want to come up against any of those opponents.
Nah.
But there's been some chat this week. Obviously, 5'8" Burton's been off contract. Not off contract. His contract is the Dogs for next year.
He can just
But he can
start
start
chatting
negotiating
Yeah.
with other clubs from November 1st. So Matt Burton is stupid not to negotiate. After a year of playing Origin, his market value's gone up.
Nice payday coming up for
Now,
Burton.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he loves
Copies
There's-
on him.
E- everyone's throwing out there 2 cents. Oh, he could maybe go to the NFL, get on the special teams.
Probably could.
But Australian Rugby has come out and said
Really?
they wouldn't mind targeting Matt Burton and offer him a contract for the ARU. Now, I don't see Matt Burton going anywhere near Australian Rugby. I think he would kill it because anyone that plays rugby league walks into the Wallabies team. Suliasi Vunivalu just played. Is it time for rugby just to say, how about you start looking at your own juniors? Stop looking at rugby league players. I know there's some that have successfully crossed over, like
Swally, Crichton.
the rugby players
Yeah.
that come into rugby league and find their own in rugby league. But I think rugby need to sort out their pathways
Yeah.
because, what's the pathways? Like for you, example, at Kiraz, played SG ball, played 20s, New South Wales Cup. You know the pathway
Yeah.
to get into a rugby league team or to play first grade. In rugby, you got to
Private
play at a
school.
GPS school, maybe at a private school. You got to maybe try and get your way into a Super
there's
Rugby
no
Academy team
Junior
or something
Waratahs
like
or
that.
anything, is there?
There's Shoot Shield, but I don't think it gets the respect that it does, like how junior footy does.
Nah, no way.
Nah.
Do you think it's fair to say that rugby start looking at your own
Yeah.
pathways?
For sure. Stop poaching it. Well, unless, but then the counter to that is if you're remember Curtis Rona? Didn't he play for?
He slotted straight
Yeah,
into
so
the
you
Wallabies
need
team.
maybe 1 season of NRL and you're playing for
And
the
you go walking-
I reckon the end of the season you could slot
You
into
could
it.
be a Wallabies player.
You could be
if
a
you want.
Wallabies centre, inside, outside centre maybe, or a
Well,
winger.
no, don't get me wrong. Burton would kill it in rugby.
For sure.
More open
Has
space.
he said it? Have the boys been geeing him up? Like, come on, Bert.
Nah.
Sign the contract, lad.
Nah.
Come on. You got what? Reed Marnie coming next year. Kickout coming next year.
No, I think everyone just. Yeah, everyone's just. I don't think anyone's even spoke about it. I think everyone just let him have his whatever,
Yeah.
you know, let him have his time whenever.
Nice.
Whenever's
that
right,
spine will
right.
be-
It's looking good next year. And another player that's been playing out of his skin, Jeremy Marshall-King. Probably
Yeah.
played his best season
100%.
in first grade footy this year. Shit to see him go to the Dolphins next year. But how's he been? And how was like after that decision? How was everyone around the club?
Yeah, obviously, end of the day, it's his decision, and obviously because Reed's coming next year, so that might have obviously opened up his options to go somewhere else. But no, he's been huge for my. He's probably been one of our best players nearly every week.
He has been.
Yeah, 100%. He's been massive. Just his dummy half plays running out with the forwards next to him. So yeah,
He's a
he's been
good pickup.
massive.
One of
Mate,
the
there's
rare
been a
good
few
pickups. Very good
pickups.
pickup,
Yeah,
very good
Milford
pickup.
had just signed with the Dolphins
Did
as
he?
well, just recently. Yeah, opted
Yeah.
for 2 years. Another mid-season transfer looming is Nathan Brown from Parramatta, reportedly set to sign with the Melbourne Storm. Now
That's a Storm.
wow.
signing. That's a Storm signing.
That's a great Storm signing. If you're going to get a player to start playing well, like he hasn't seen much first grade footy this year.
And
Nathan
they've been
Brown.
struck by the injury bug. Roosters 2020, 2021
I like the
style.
Roosters this year
Yeah.
too. The Roosters have just copped another round of injuries
know,
too.
two
Tupanua
ACLs.
going down, Billy Smith ACL. I think maybe the person that's doing the strength and conditioning at the Roosters, just take it easy on their knees. And they're squatting. Every player's
On
going
the
down with an ACL.
On the
Yeah.
Roosters game, big debate. I want your opinion on this. The Joey Manu. Did you see the
Yeah,
The-
the fake cramp.
the
or
fake
whatever.
cramp and then he hit
Okay,
the gap?
yeah. As
What's
a-
your opinion on that? Like,
as an opposition player,
if he does that, and let's say for example he runs through you and Flano, are you blowing up,
Yeah, I think it's
or you just drop?
I
down and
think no, because I think if you see, if he
If he
was
pulls up,
actually
you're pulling
cramping,
up, yeah.
if I'm like this, even if I'm defending, like I wouldn't think
You're
to
not the guy
tackle
to
him.
belt
I'm
him, yeah.
like leave him, like maybe go like beat. But I'll probably I don't know. Like you say you'll be aware, but I think if someone's holding their leg and you look injured,
You're not gonna be.
I don't
You're not
think
gonna be.
I
A
don't
good,
know.
yeah.
do you think it opens up now if someone's injured, you've got free reign to just have a crack
Belt
and
him.
belt him?
Nah, no way.
No, you do the same thing, just mate.
Well,
Yeah.
bit of
Make sure it's
gamesmanship.
okay.
Now he's in doubt. He sat out training, so it could just be gamesmanship from the Chooks going. We're copping
It
some
does
heat
look a
here,
little bit of
Joey.
You reckon?
We're gonna get
Yeah,
some
mate,
video of you with
He was copping it in a few comment sections I read. I thought it was hilarious. And
I
he-
thought it was pretty. And
play
you
to
know
the final
what?
whistle,
Look, a split
kids.
Yeah,
second,
it's
like,
true.
Yeah.
to be fair, the Dragons players didn't really stop. Like he did it and then just went
I
anyway.
don't know.
Like,
I thought it was.
I thought it was pretty
creative.
funny.
Looked like he should be playing for the Bulldogs if you pull something
Yeah.
like that off. No, but I thought it was hilarious. Maybe some players won't look too kindly upon it because if he does pull that again or someone's injured, players don't know whether to put a shot on or not.
I think it's free reign. So if you're playing the Titans and Tino's pulling up cramped, you can just coat
it's a
hang
grey
him.
area.
Tackle him,
But
that's it.
Yeah.
Nathan Brown is a former Origin player.
He is.
That'd be a massive pickup for Melbourne, who have
Great.
gone through some injuries. Pappenhausen's just gone
Oh
down.
man, he's
Yeah.
had no luck.
But say, Melbourne are going up against South this week. Big game because they've lost 3 in a row. First time they've lost 3 in a row since 2015.
wow.
Unheard of in a
Crazy.
Bellamy team,
Yeah.
right? They can probably survive without Pappenhausen if they get towards full strength with a.
Sharpen the
Don't, don't put the pencil through.
gone.
No,
They're gone.
They've played with no Pappenhausen. They've had players slot in.
Put
Meany
Munster
can-
fullback.
I don't know. I think Meany.
Some people saying they reckon he does his best work at fullback.
I think you put Meany at fullback
Yeah.
and leave the 6 and 7, leave the spine as is, right? But
It's still a good spine.
it's still a great spine. That's what I mean. So let them get to full strength. Could
Yeah.
you see Melbourne losing 4 in a row
You
against
played,
South
you
this
played
week?
South. Like,
I reckon it just depends how Latrell goes. I reckon
Yeah, it's
if
all on him,
Latrell's,
eh?
Latrell's on.
yeah, if Latrell's on, I think all the boys in the team they go off him.
Mm.
is it
So I
like
reckon-
you saw it firsthand? But like he plays well. Cody Walker plays
Yeah,
well.
100%,
Like, isn't it
100%.
crazy? Eh? Like he's just like it's almost like Turbo last year when he came back and just
Yeah.
he's got that turbo.
He's an influential player in the playing group.
They G up.
Latrell that they get around. And you see Cody Walker starts playing his best footy
He's
when
playing really
Latrell's
well
on.
now.
But I don't know. I'd hate to see Melbourne lose 4 in a row. And this, I think it's not make or break for him because they're just sitting outside the top 4 or on the top 4. But they need to start turning it around. They've never really hit this slump like this
Nah,
for a
never.
long time. So
Never. So many injuries.
Yeah.
Sharpen up the pencil.
no, keep them going. But then we've also got Dragons up against Manly this week.
Big game for the 8.
Big game for the top 8. Both teams are borderline top 8. You got Roosters and Souths making
Yeah.
a play for the 8 as well. if Dragons lose this game, you can probably rule them out for the
think so.
for the semi-finals.
DCE been carrying Manly.
Do you still see possibly Dragons having a crack for going towards the 8?
I don't think so. You played the Dragons yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did. Yeah.
So at Belmore,
Indigenous
wasn't it?
round.
Yeah, that's
Belmore
right.
game,
Yeah.
It was a good
Yeah.
That was,
game.
that was mad. That was a good atmosphere.
All right, be honest.
What?
I don't know if this gets you into trouble, we can get rid of it. But like, Belmore or Accor Stadium.
Yeah,
Like,
where do you
surely
prefer
maybe
playing?
we just save Accor for like a good
Oh,
Friday.
no, I think there should be more games at Belmore.
100%.
Remember,
The
what was
crowd is
when
on.
they played St George? It was a
There
good
was
crowd.
20,000 at
Yeah,
least.
more. Yeah, way
And
more.
people on the roof. There's
Yeah,
probably
people
5,000
jump on the
unofficial.
Yeah, people jumping the fence.
That's an
Yeah, no. So you, as a player, you kind of prefer those suburban
Yeah,
grounds?
all right. Even when we
Because you played at Leichhardt
Leichhardt,
too.
oh,
Yeah.
I love that. I'll rather play at all the
Leave Accor for big games.
Yeah. Well, you know you're going to sell
Where you
out.
know you're going to get 50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you boys versus Para, or when there's two big fan
Now,
bases.
usually when you're on the wing or a pairing that you're next to is Shop sometimes, here and there. He's a bit of an aggressive player.
Yeah, Shoppy.
We were talking about that West Tigers game. He got 10 in the bin, put someone on their head.
He
How
was
is he?
giving it to Katoni Staggs?
How
as
is
well.
he? How is he on the field? Is it good to play with someone like that G's up, gets a bit niggly with the opposition?
Yeah, well, I played with him. That Tigers game? I was on the wing with him. But yeah, it's mad. You always want those players in your team because you see in other teams the players, and then I look at Shoppy. I'm like, yeah, thank
He's
God.
G up?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
a massive G. Even in Parramatta when Burton got pushed by Moses.
Mitch Moses,
And then
yeah,
Shoppy
yeah.
just comes like it's good to have one of those players
Yeah.
that G's you up and he gets the boys going.
Yeah.
So it's good he's on our team. So.
No, I rate it. I like seeing a bit of mongrel from the Dogs. you know.
There's a few players like that. Like Tavita's in there.
Yeah.
There's a
See.
few good players. Ever get like? I always wonder, does he train how he plays? Like players like Shoppy and Tavita and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
are they?
T will be in training,
And belting
shooting
them?
up the line, and
Shit.
yeah. I'm telling you, he does it in training. Yeah, Shoppy's pretty. Obviously the boys. He's not going to go cause a fight with the boys.
Yeah,
but
not like you.
No, what?
Poor kid.
No.
Yeah. But I want to point out that Brett Camorley came out recently after their loss against Penrith and said it was disrespectful for Penrith to rest 7 players.
And still win.
7 of their starting players. They thought
Yeah.
it was really disrespectful. Do you think that's more of a knock on the Tigers of where they're at, or is it just
I think so.
disrespectful from Penrith to just say, no, Nathan Cleary, go to Bali and enjoy yourself?
I think it's more of a knock on the Tigers.
The Tigers. It is. Like, they're currently,
But it's not even really a surprise. Like, we knew Penrith would still win.
yeah, I mean, we both tipped them,
We
but
both-
it's just like, how do you see it, like, as a player in the comp? Because there is disparity between the top teams,
Yeah.
Melbourne, Penrith, Para up there, and the rest of the comp. Do you see Penrith going back to back this year? Do you see, like, it's just these teams and it's just a gap
That's
between,
a gap between.
a massive gap between other clubs?
I reckon Sharks. I reckon will be.
Yeah.
They're
I
flying
reckon
under the radar.
Yeah, I reckon Sharks will be pretty good.
I think it would be massive for them if they land the top 4 spot.
That's
Yeah.
yeah.
If they land the
100%.
top
I
4
reckon
spot, because then I could also see them going out the back door if they don't, if they're outside the 4.
because they've been playing good footy, really good footy.
Nico Hines, I think it's all down to him.
And I don't think their backs get enough credit too. You got
Their backs
players
are-
like
yeah.
Sione
Yeah.
Katoa,
100%.
another Canterbury junior
Yeah,
as well,
Yeah,
old
100%.
Chester Hill boy.
Yeah, that's right.
But their backs don't
And
get enough
Ronaldo.
credit. Yeah, Ramian as well.
But
Like,
Damien's been taking.
Rabian's been doing good.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I don't know. They definitely go under the radar. But what do you think, what sets those teams apart, Penrith and Melbourne, from the rest of the clubs in the comp?
I just think probably from obviously from you got the juniors, how they get recruited and they bring them up. I'm assuming so.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't.
Is it like a club culture thing as well? It's
It
just
might be
like,
because Melbourne's always been like
strong.
everyone's always known Melbourne as a strong
When-
team. Penrith,
Yeah.
obviously, the last 2-3 years, I think they've been real strong, and now everyone's saying like next 10 years they'll be like the way they are because their juniors coming up and everyone. So yeah, I think it just obviously from you got the juniors, it starts from there and then come
they
up.
build a club culture around it.
Yeah, and they also like their pace, the way they play the game, slowing it down, like the speed around the ruck as well. I think Penrith. I'd be very surprised if anyone else won, but Penrith. I think it's
Yeah.
them daylight everyone else.
And-
Cowboys.
Yeah,
maybe?
they're
Yeah.
going under the radar too.
Like they lost on Friday. They had a few players out.
Yeah, it was kind of expected.
Yeah,
with
they were
Origin
due for that.
resting. But I mean, in terms of the rest of the season for the Bulldogs, I'm a Bulldogs fan, Bulldogs fanatic, Belmore boy.
Through and through.
What do we expect from the boys? Obviously, we're not probably looking to play finals footy.
Yeah.
But is the rest of the season just like, let's get the combinations right, let's build some team chemistry going into next season, have some fun. You guys are playing good attacking footy. What's the plan for rest of the season going into next year?
Yeah, well, yeah, we haven't even really thought. Yeah, we don't think about let's make that. We just go each game as it is. So
Try and get a
every
win.
game we just try and put a fight up, and we know that our best footy will win. Like our best footy when we're all on, we know that we can win. Especially like Sharks, we were in the game. If Ray
You've beaten them.
Para, yeah, if Ray went over that try, you never know. It could have been a different outcome. Rabbitohs were in. So I think, we just focus on every game, just putting our best foot forward. We know everyone knows what we need to do, and obviously it is good for next year because we know that obviously we got kicks coming and we got Reed, so that'll be good for the team as well. So no, it's good.
It's looking promising down
Things
at
looking up.
Yeah,
down
no,
at Belmore.
it is. It is. And it's good to hear from the players too that people are looking forward to next season and what's to come.
sure.
Even though we don't really know what's happening with the coaching situation, but it's still looking very promising at the Dogs. Mick Potter's doing a top job.
He's doing a good job. Hopefully get a big coaching name. They're trying to, I saw on 100% footy, they were trying to poke it out of Gus.
Yeah,
Gus
possibly
just wasn't having a
Serrado.
bar of
Do
it.
you have I mean, you've been to a couple NRL clubs now. Do you have a preference of who you'd like to coach? I know, Dewey came out when West Tigers were looking for a coach. He said, I wouldn't mind Seabold. I've been through his systems. He likes the way he plays.
Yep.
Do you have a preference of a coach that you've liked? Like, could it be a Paul Green or someone that you'd like to see at the
Serraldo
Dogs?
maybe.
No, I haven't really. I saw Greeny a couple of times, Cowboys, but I haven't really been have a close connection with a coach. So yeah, even when I came here, I was with Baz. I knew Baz for a bit. Then he got then he left. So no, Potsy's been pretty good. So
On that, what were the what are the main differences, without bagging them or anything like that, between Trent Barrett and Mick Potter? Like do they have different styles, or how are they with the players?
No, I think it's not that different. I think they're pretty similar. I think the main change that got the attack on was Ava at fullback. I think that was
so more
massive.
positional changes.
More probably positional changings was what was main, and obviously bringing in some you got Deck now coming in, Kurt Moran, Zach Docker Clay, they've been really good, all of them. So I reckon the young blood as well has been good.
Giving them
plenty
a crack.
of young guns. All right, to wrap it up, Bernard. We always like to wrap it up. Me and him got a little bit of a tipping. We've been doing tipping throughout the year.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was well clear. It was over.
I was 3 points clear.
Loser has to get a manzillion. I've brought it to one tip back. So I'm right in this. And we also do a long shot every week.
Yeah.
So for a long shot, I know you can't obviously gamble, but what I'm going to do is
gamble.
my long shot this week is going to be you to score the first try against the Titans.
Kiraz first try into a Ray Lewis try celebration. For a sports
There you go.
bet
You
fight.
heard it here first. Clip it up
Yeah.
on the B team. You're definitely scoring this week. I know
Yeah.
it for a fact.
I'll back that.
I'll back that into
Yeah.
Bulldogs to win easy money,
Mhm.
but I'm going you first try scorer.
All right.
And as always,
Hope so.
guys, you do it responsibly. of
Yeah,
course.
and I'll double down on that. Having Jacob on, I won't go first try scorer because I'm pretty switched on punter. But I'll go Jacob Kiraz anytime try scorer. Bulldogs head to head.
Done.
Melbourne head to head.
Okay.
they'll hit back this week.
You think
against
they're beating
South.
South?
Yeah.
like
Melbourne
that.
head-to-head. I like
All right.
that. But
Beautiful.
mate, Kiraz, I'd like to say thanks for jumping on the
Thanks
pod,
for
mate.
coming on, brother.
Really appreciate it. I know I'll be in and around with some of the Dogs boys in the coming days.
That's it.
But we didn't wrap my my Origin 3 experience. Crazy experience. We'll touch on that in another episode.
Definitely. And you got to tell us about your budgie smugglers. New
Yeah,
episode.
yeah. But no, mate, really appreciate you coming
Nah,
on.
thanks, brother. Appreciate
yeah,
it.
playing good footy. Keep it up. Doing us Lebos proud, mate. So
That's it.
And up the Cedars.
and up the
I've
Cedars.
become an unofficial Cedars now.
Yeah.
Get a polo or a jersey.
Yeah.
And as always, guys, remember to follow us on Instagram, TikTok. We just hit 10K on TikTok, so we're absolutely flying. Thanks, guys. See you next week. Up the Cedars.
Take
Up
it
the
easy.
Cedars.